And we move across to the U.S. The federal agents there have shot and wounded 2 people in the western city of Portland. And this as protests continue over an immigration officer killing a woman in Minneapolis. The White House said the law enforcement was under organized attack as protesters clashed with officers in the western state of Minnesota. The victim of Thursday's shooting was identified as Renee Nicole Good. She was shot in the head as she apparently tried to drive away from the agents who were approaching her car, which they said blocked their way. Now, Vice President J.D. Vance, without providing any evidence, said she was part of a broader left-wing network opposed to immigration and customs enforcement and insisted that the officer acted in self-defense.
Well, being part of the network doesn't justify being shot, but ramming an ICE officer with your car, that's what justifies being shot. It's not a good thing, by the way, but when you force somebody to engage in self-defense, it's almost a preposterous question.
No, the federal immigration officer armed with pepper ball guns and tear gas wrestled several protesters to the ground as large noisy crowds gathered around Minneapolis to chant slogans against ICE. Protests grew after Minnesota's governor Tim Walz called it a patriotic duty to demonstrate on Thursday. He said Minnesota must participate in the shooting probe alongside federal investigators, but Vance suggested that the officer would be cleared by a federal proof that would exclude staff-level officials.
You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy's protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension said it had initially agreed with the FBI to conduct a joint investigation into the shooting, but that the federal agency had reversed course and take sole control of the probe. Now, a makeshift roadside memorial has been erected near the location of the shooting. Minneapolis residents have decried the incident. One woman claimed that her 19-year-old brother, who she said is a U.S. citizen, was arrested while working for Target.
He literally, ICE was outside. He was doing an order. He went inside and they tackled him down.
Which Target?
At the Richfield Target. There was just an operation there.
A man also from the neighborhood where Good was shot said the state of country has left him in disbelief.
Yeah, I'm just really upset that this is happening in America. We got people that are dying, that are dead. We got others that are getting kidnapped. They're going into places they shouldn't be. There's no plan. They're like completely out of control.
Protests were seen across the country over the incident. In Los Angeles, faith leaders and community members gathered in front of the federal building to denounce the shooting. In D.C., protesters carried signs and chanted slogans such as "No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here." And for more on the story, our correspondent Susan Tadani has sent us this report from New York.
Authorities are now focusing on what comes next after the Minneapolis fatal shooting involving an ICE officer. Multiple investigations are underway, including a federal review of the officer's use of force and a separate state-level inquiry as officials work to establish not only a clear timetable, but also determine what happened and what led to that incident. Protests continue in Minneapolis, and those protests have spread to other cities, with demonstrators demanding greater oversight of federal immigration enforcement and accountability for the shooting. Others are asking where the line is between protest and interfering with federal law enforcement. Politically, the divide is sharpening, with Vice President J.D. Vance and other Republicans standing firmly behind ICE, arguing agents must be able to defend themselves while carrying out lawful duties. Democratic leaders are united in calling for transparency and also limits on ICE operations in their communities. As investigations proceed, immigration enforcement emerges as one of the most divisive issues shaping public opinion in the United States. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World is One.